Chuck Blandington here, welcoming you to the Metal Injection Livecast. Day 12 of quarantine, and my consciousness circuits are feeling a little strange. But the show must go on. Here's 4 of my favorite people in the whole wide world with absolutely no personality defects. About to bring you 90 minutes of riveting comedy, and maybe a really enjoyable couple of metal songs to boot. You're flibbering to the kettle infection flibberty gibbet. Malfunction. Malfunction. Energy reserves low. Critical error. Abort. Abort. The Metal Injection Livecast starts now.
Hey! We are live! Welcome, everybody! It's the Metal Injection Livecast. And it's week 3 of our quarantine cast. And if you're on the Patreon or the live stream, you'll see I'm the one wearing the tank top this week. It's Rob, here with 3D, Darren Delgado to my right. Then we got Sydney down here, and we also got Noah. How's it going, everybody?
Yo.
So now each one of us has worn a tank top every week. This week it's Rob, last week was me. Sid was first, so that means Noah has to wear a tank top next week. Correct?
That's fine. I feel like I'm usually the one wearing a tank top every week.
But the fans don't see it until now.
Right. I just won't shave my shoulders. How about that?
That sounds fair.
Rob, do you normally have a lot of hair on your shoulders?
Not really hair on my shoulders. I was just poking fun because Sid has really long, like the most amount of shoulder hair I've ever seen in my life on a man.
You know, can I just say something here? I've been in the room when Sid's taken off his shirt and didn't see that much hair on your shoulders. And just maybe seeing it on video like makes me realize how much it is more.
When were you in the room when I took my shirt off?
We all took our shirts off at once. Don't you remember this? We did it on the air like years ago. And you've done it other times too. Like this, that wasn't the only time taking your shirt.
I didn't realize.
There was one time, it was towards the end, we read a hate mail. And somebody, I don't know how it came up, but we wound up, all 3 of us except Noah actually no, Sean was there too. 4 of us took our shirts off.
Huh, okay.
And we sat there for like 2 minutes with our shirts off.
I mean, it's definitely gotten worse for me as the years have gone by.
I don't get, like, is there like a genetic thing? Like your coating is slightly malfunctioning?
I think it's just as you get older, you grow more hair on your body and less on your head. That's like
so you already had like a nice sized patch and then it's becoming thicker. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering, is it going gray along with your hair, or does it stay one color?
I don't see any gray shoulder hairs yet, thankfully.
I have a little bit. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I guess I could see that a little bit.
Yeah, I have a smidge of shoulder. But I mean, look at the shoulder. I look great.
Oh my god!
I do want to mention.
This is going to be the
Sorry,
Rob jerks off over his own body cast for the next.
Well, you know, times are tough. I might have to launch an OnlyFans where I'm literally the only fan.
Someone in one of our patrons would definitely sign up for that. I guarantee you.
Okay, well, I'm thankful for that. I do want to mention we have a very special guest. He's going to be on the show momentarily. I'm really excited about it. His name is John Dolmayan, and he is the drummer of System of a Down. And he's going to be on the air, and we're going to be talking to him in just a few minutes about his new solo album. And Noah was really offended by that, so she had to log off for a quick second. No, but she'll be hopping right back in. And besides that, of course, it is week 3 of all of us streaming from our apartments. And really quickly, you know, we'll obviously get more into how we're dealing with the quarantine and everything with the coronavirus after the interview, because it's scheduled for a few minutes from now. But I do want to say one point of pride. It has been absolute hell for me to figure out how to set up this live stream, this video stream, and all the intricacies of it, which include, you know, us being all live together and then also setting it up so that we could accept calls like we normally do and stream it and broadcast it live. And it has been tough. And one thing that has been getting me, like, calming me down, and like, because there have been some points where I'm like, I can't figure this out. I want to break my computer. Is going and hearing other, high-end corporate entities have these same exact problems we're having. Like, for example, Howard Stern, he's broadcasting. They're all broadcasting on Zoom. When I listened, they were using the software Zoom. We're using Skype, and on the first day that they did their show, they couldn't even take calls. So I was like, well, look at me. I figured out. I at least figured out how to take calls. And we're going to play a Mike Francesa clip a little later in the show. And
Can't wait.
And I think he's also recording that from his home, and even he has echo on his on his audio.
Well, that's because Mons is in quarantine. How does he do a show without Mons?
Mons, you got to get over this. You got to just get over it. Get over it. Be a man. Go outside. You're young. You're healthy. You're not in the risk group, okay? Just get out there and brave the virus. I mean, it's an important cause, okay?
So we're going to be talking about him in just a moment, but I want to get our guest on the line. Let's kick it off. Let's start it hot. Hopefully he'll pick up. John Dolmayan of System of a Down, now the second member of System of a Down we've had on the show.
Halfway there. Halfway to a complete set.
And then we'll go like former members.
But there were no former members.
I think they're never broken up.
I think he replaced a guy, but that guy was never on any recordings.
Hello, John.
Hello.
Hey,
Yeah.
John, you're on the air with the Metal Injection Livecast. Thanks for taking the call. It's Rob here.
Hey, man. What's going on? What did I interrupt, guys? What did I interrupt?
Well, we were just wondering if there were any former members of System of a Down, because we were saying you're the second member of the band that we have on the show. I should also mention that there's three other people here. We have Darren,
Hi.
Sid, and Noah
Hello.
here.
Hello.
What's up, guys? What's happening? Yeah, there was a drummer before me, and a very good drummer. His name's Andy Khachaturian. Good luck spelling that last name. So, yeah, there was one other. I mean, as far as I know, that was it. But I guess there is a potential that there was somebody else that I don't know. But the guys never told me.
I see. Yeah, that's what we were quickly debating right as you picked up. But thank you for hanging out. It's a trying time. Are you just? I'm assuming you're just hanging out at home. There's nowhere else to really hang out at the moment. It's been a weird few weeks. I feel a weird time to promote an album.
Yeah, well, actually, it's a great time because people have nothing to do, so they can sit at home and listen to stuff.
That's a good point.
And catch up with their family. Honestly, I think there's a lot of positive that can come out of this. But at the end of the day, what I'm really concerned with is that people are financially going to be hit very hard. I don't want to see high unemployment levels. I have a business that I run. We have 15 employees, and I'm doing the best I can to keep everybody employed. But that's the only thing you're really concerned with during times like this. I don't know. I guess I'm not quite as afraid as other people are about the virus itself. I feel like human beings are made to combat viruses. We have systems in place in our bodies to combat viruses, but hey, it did get rid of. If there's one positive thing, the powers that be, it got rid of a lot of people that were protesting really fast. So I don't know. I question stuff and have my own theories on things, and people think I'm an idiot sometimes for it. But I also have a big imagination. It's part of having that.
Oh, did we lose him?
Did we lose him?
Oh, it says he's still here.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Sorry, you cut out at the very end. But yeah, so I'm a little like, what do you mean by the the protesters?
Which
I guess
protesters did it get rid of?
Yeah.
Well, there were protesters in Hong Kong. There were protesters in France. There were protesters in Italy, Lebanon, Chile. There were protests happening worldwide, people demanding change from their governments. And, it's just kind of convenient that there's a coronavirus and all those protests go away.
Oh, I see. So you think maybe it was engineered by those governments to kill off these people?
Or to just keep them off the streets.
Oh, now we definitely lost him.
Oh,
Hold on,
So-
let me give him a call back.
listen, if those governments can engineer a virus, they could definitely engineer a call dropping.
Yeah, wait a minute. How convenient that as John is exposing this, the call gets dropped.
It's just weird timing, isn't it?
It's the coronavirus, am I right?
Hey guys,
John, how convenient just as you're exposing this, this conspiracy, the government heard our phone lines and cut you off here.
right away. You see how that works?
It's the phone virus. That's COVID-20. It just came out.
Listen, guys, I write for a hobby, and actually started writing my own comic book that's going to come out in a couple months or so, whenever this thing clears up.
That's
So
awesome.
I do have an active imagination, and I see depth in things and reasons within reasons and stuff like that. So, maybe I'm nuts, or maybe my philosophies have a ring of truth in them, but I just think that there's interesting coincidences and convenient things that happen to motivate things.
Yeah.
World War I started on an assassination attempt, right? Like, was that person assassinated by the people that wanted the war or people that didn't want it? You have to think like, I don't know. There's just things that happen in history that are interesting that are hard to explain. Where do these viruses pop out of? It's not bats and shit like that. People in China have been eating that way for thousands of years.
Well,
Nothing new.
I certainly believe that, like, government, I don't know how it started, but the governments definitely knew about it much sooner than they acted. I feel like even with our country, like, we only started really being proactive about it earlier this month when they knew about it in January.
What do you guys- There's nothing China's going to do the first 2 weeks to stop people from buying and consuming Chinese products, right? They would prefer, this is my theory, they would prefer the entire world economy being bad than just the Chinese economy. Because what happens if we can't get our goods from China because there's a shutdown in China? Then we're going to get it from other places, their competitors. And once you develop supply chains from other places, then, people get used to working with other people. They're not necessarily going to want to go back and work with China afterwards. So, I think that there's a whole political, global, financial thing you have to understand. They don't care about a couple million people dying. And I'm not just talking about China. I'm talking about governments in general, because they have to look at it kind of like an ant colony. It's more important for the ant colony to survive than members of the ant colony, including the queen. So everything they do is motivated in the survival of the colony. And it's understandable, although it's not fun to think about things in those terms. But society is bigger than any single person that lives in a society.
Yeah, so, and I feel one. Yeah, we could get off the coronavirus and move more to
hours.
Why don't you, Rob? Why don't you get off the coronavirus? I just got off yours.
Oh!
Hey. But I very much dig the album These Gray Men, and it's a fun project. It is a project of covers, and I'm sure you've talked about it a bunch now, but what made you decide to do a covers album? And with the songs that you picked, was it like you had these songs in mind to rework, or was it more you wanted to work with the artists that you collaborated with and you guys decided on a song?
It was really just by happenstance. I'd be driving on long drives, listening to a shuffle selection on either, one of my devices or on radio, and just listening to songs at random. And I rediscovered a bunch of songs that I hadn't heard in a long time. Rediscovered for my love and passion for those songs, and also started to think about on these long drives, what would it have been like if those songs were presented to me? What would I have written as far as the drums are concerned? How would I have changed the arrangements? And that was the inception of it, the idea. And going forward from there, I started thinking about, well, wait a minute, if I was the one that created the song, how would I play it? How would I arrange it? And who would I want singing on it? And then I started developing a list from there, started contacting some of the people that were on that list. Some of them were available, some of them weren't. Some of them didn't respond. And the selection that you're hearing is basically what I thought was the better work, the pieces that actually ended up working out to the point where it was different enough from the original to where I was also proud enough of the end product to put it out.
Yeah, and that's what I really appreciate about the covers is, I kind of feel like it's cheating when a band does sort of a straight cover of a song. It's like, just listen to the original. What's the point of just re-recording a song that someone else...
What is the point of your cover existing if it sounds exactly like the original?
Yeah,
what is the point?
And I feel like
the original.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the original is. What's the point of ever covering Led Zeppelin and doing it straight when just go listen to Led Zeppelin? There's no need. Nobody can add anything to what they did with that music, for example.
Nobody did it better than the original, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you have bands like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, who did a bunch of covers, and they were phenomenal because they made it their own song. So you had an original that somebody else did, and then you have their version, which becomes a second original in a lot of ways, because they put their own stamp on it, they put their own feel behind it, and really make it their own music. And look, everybody does things their way. If you want to be a band that does a cover exactly like, then go for it. But can't you just write your own songs if you want? If you want to have a hit, write your own song. If you're going to do a cover, make it special, make it interesting, make it you.
Yeah, and I feel that's something you've been doing for a really long time, even before this, like with all the songs System of a Down covered, like they sound nothing like you guys sound nothing like the originals, like with Metro and Snowblind and even your Wu-Tang cover, which is one of my favorite all-time covers. So I feel like...
Yeah, that's probably actually the closest to the original.
Right, yeah.
But still
heavy.
It's the closest, but it's nothing like.
Yeah, that song Metro, when I first heard it, I didn't realize it was a cover at first. I forget, it was like maybe on a soundtrack or whatever. And then when I heard the original, I was like, I can't believe you guys got to where you did with that song based on the original is just a pop song. It's like a light rock song kind of.
Well, Hung Up is a pop song.
Right, yes.
Up is a pop song. The ABBA song that she sampled that Madonna sampled originally was a pop song as well. I'm a big fan of Sia. I might do a Sia cover at some point. To me, it doesn't matter what genre it is, what musical taste they have, where it comes from, what the inspiration was for them. You can take any kind of music and reimagine it and make it your own style, whatever that style be. And the more diverse your musical taste, the more chance you have of creating something that is diverse and interesting and can appeal to people's sensibilities concerning something original, something groundbreaking. And I think that's what I like to strive towards. I don't always accomplish it, but I strive towards it so that even if I fail close to the mark as opposed to not even having a mark in the first place.
Yeah, and even like with the Starman cover, I mean, to do a David Bowie cover, it takes a lot of balls, I feel, because he's so revered and that music is so set. And you guys kill it. Like, I love it. It's such a great interpretation. You did that with Surge, and it's a really fun listen, and it's not, it's a relatively quick listen, and it's a bunch of fun interpretations of classic songs, and some a little more obscure.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually do some more modern stuff too. There's a Tool song that I want to cover, their last album. I'm gonna have to shorten the song probably by like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that could be the whole album, basically.
There's a song by the there's a song by The Weeknd that I really like that I want to cover.
Which one?
I'm doing this a little bit more.
That's cool. Yeah, The Weeknd is really. I think The Weeknd is one of the most original artists right now in like pop music that's doing like really fun stuff that
I sounds a lot. There's a big 80s vibe in this particular song that I like. It's nothing I haven't heard before, but he's doing it again in his own way, right? Like,
right.
You're going to all of us take from the past, all of us take from our influences, and we regurgitate them into something that's different, and original because it's us also, right? Like, I feel a lot of 80s vibe, early 80s vibe coming from the weekend, which is cool.
And yeah, well, one other thing I wanted to mention, I know we said we were getting it off the coronavirus, but you guys do have, as System of a Down, have shows lined up for the summer. And like, you know, have you thought about when it would feel safe to like go and play shows and gather in public again? And like, are there going to be any precautions, do you think? Or are you of the mind that like, we just got to go out there?
We're going to leave that to the local governments and municipalities. They're going to figure out whether or not it's safe for us to go. We're not canceling the tour as far as System of a Down is concerned. But if local governments feel that it's too dangerous to have it, then we'll figure it out. We have to postpone it. We'll see.
This is something I've wondered about, and not just with regards to concerts and stuff, but in general. Like, let's say, you know, there's some date in the future where the government says, okay, these things can open now, and there's no more necessary quarantine. Do you think there will be a lag time before people will still behave normally, even though they're legally allowed to go out and do these things?
I think it'll be like horses in a gate. As soon as that gate's open, they're going to run out. People are going to be sitting at home for a month, more than a month at that point. If it happens like in April, for example, they're gonna need to get the hell out of the house.
It's true.
Yeah, and
they're already seeing start to ignore the warnings. You know, it's already starting because I don't know, man. There's a lot of information out there. I don't know who's right and wrong, but
yeah, and there's a lot of information. A lot of people sitting around with plenty of time to consume as much information as they want on the internet. But what
Speaking of information.
So
I don't know if you guys heard about this, but my dad tipped me to this today. If you eat ginger, it supposedly prevents you from catching the virus. So everybody eat a lot of ginger.
What if you eat a ginger?
How am I going to eat ginger if I can't go to my local sushi place?
That's true.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I feel like wasabi can kill anything. Very strong.
You know what I heard? I heard that if you buy the new These Gray Men album, you have no chance of catching any STDs or coronavirus.
That's right. You need to stream it on a continuous loop 24/7 to avoid the virus.
It actually, you know what? It even allows you to pay your taxes in July this year instead of in April. So
wow.
A lot of benefits to buying my album.
Awesome. And it's cool. So you do want to make another one. It sounds like you're already contemplating different tracks. When you released this album, did you kind of get hit up by some of your friends being like, hey, why didn't you ask me? You know, I want to do a cover song with you or whatever, you know?
I wish they reached. I would love to hear from artists and be like, hey, I want to do it too. You know, like,
yeah,
that'd be an amazing thing. And I would actively find songs for them that I think would work, or collaborate with them on songs they wanted to do. I'm 100% open. I just don't get the offers. Mm-hmm. I think people look at System as like so different and you know, like just on its own mountain that maybe they're afraid to do collaborations. But I can play any kind of music there is. There's no limitations to my drumming ability, and I'd be happy to pursue projects with anybody, from the pop world to the rock world. You know, I'm 100% open to that.
Well, Rob, you know guys in bands. Do you want to play middleman here and hook them up with some phone numbers?
I'm gonna reach out to The Weeknd. I don't know him, but I'll tweet him, and we'll make it happen.
Well, I'm going to cover irrespective of whether he's involved or not, and I'm going to send it to him. I think he's going to enjoy it because I'm going to rip that song up. I'm telling you. You know, his drummer's good, but he's not ready for what I'm doing.
Cool. Well, we definitely look forward to hearing it. And John, thanks so much for giving us a bit of your time. The album is called These Gray Men.
Take care, guys. Thanks.
And thank you so much, and stay safe out there. And look forward to seeing you on the stage soon.
Right on, guys.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That was John Dolmayan from System of a Down. And, of course, he's got his project, that he's doing. These Gray Men, very fun stuff. But yeah, we're talking about coronavirus. We were talking about it right before we got on the air with John. Sorry, John, were you going to
I didn't get to ask him any of my Lebanese cuisine questions.
Aw.
I didn't know when was the right time to step in.
You just got to jump in. You got to jump in. Yeah.
I was going to say, the thing he said about the government's sort of like releasing coronavirus on purpose, I would say that I'm someone that's very skeptical of governments in general. And I don't doubt that they're capable of doing that. What I question is, they're so panicked about the economy collapsing that they're ready to send like old people back to work to just to prevent the stock market from crashing, and they're willing to infect like millions of people. Kind of makes me feel like this wasn't planned this way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like in the back of my mind, I want to believe that it's not, but a part of me also thinks that there's a lot of people who control everything that are orchestrating all of this.
Right. The only thing is that
Yeah.
the effects of this situation are incredibly bad for the world governments and for the people that run everything. That's what makes me a little skeptical of that particular conspiracy theory. I do believe that they develop bioweapons for sure, and I do think it's certainly not outside of the realm of possibility that one of them got out and climbed into a bat. But I really don't think they infected like the entire population of the world. They need those people to run the fucking slave economy. How you gonna have Wendy's and McDonald's and
Not all of us are dying.
and Raytheon?
Just the older property owners.
That's really not true, actually. Now that we're testing more people, there are a lot more people dying who were not.
Well, it's like 30% is under
70.
50 or something.
But it's also not just people with immunodeficiencies anymore either. Like it's people.
The majority is
healthy. The majority is, but there are some people contracting it.
Right, but it's not. Yeah, and also like even a baby died yesterday from coronavirus, which is fucking.
There was also
insane.
a baby born with it, right?
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
I read that.
Yeah, I don't know if that was like real news or just a rumor.
Well, I read it on Mike Francesa's Twitter, so it must be true, right?
We'll talk
That's
about
where I
Mike.
get like the majority of my news.
But we have a caller, area code 813. You're on the live cast. What's your name? Where you from? And how you doing? 813.
Hey
You're on
guys,
yes.
Aaron from Florida.
How's it going, Aaron? And how are things in Florida?
Right now it's raining.
Okay.
Oh, that sucks.
I've called the show a few times over the last 10 years of listening to you guys, and I had a story that made me think of the live cast and it happened to me, and I just wanted to call in and tell you guys about it.
Do tell.
Please. We love that.
Okay. So I went to the doctor's office, not for anything corona-related, but a follow-up for a previous appointment. So I go in, I meet with the doctor, everything's cool, and they're like, well, you need a shot. So the nurse comes in, and she goes, hey, do you want the shot in your leg or in your the top of your butt? And I didn't really want it in my leg, and I was like, whatever, just stick the needle in my butt so I don't have to look at it. Because, that's what adults do who are afraid of needles.
Yeah.
So as she bends me over the bed to give me the shot, she goes,
Wait, hold on. You were in a bed? Were you sure this was in a doctor's office?
A hospital bed. Then.
Was there a gaffer?
So she goes, what?
Oh, no, it's called a fluffer, not a gaffer.
No, a gaffer, like someone holding a microphone over to mic this porn that you're about to tell us about.
It was a fluffer too.
So I'm bent over and she's filling up the needle with the vial, and she goes, oh my God, I love your name. Then I was just like, thank you, it's pretty common. She's like, oh, well, that's my son's name. She's like, how did your parents come up with your name? And she goes, I tell her, oh, it's my great uncle's name. It's his middle name. So her response to what I said was, well, my son's name is Aaron. Okay, he's named after a famous rock star. I'm sure you've heard of him.
Oh no!
No.
Then I was like,
oh no!
I go, oh, who? And she goes, Aaron Lewis. He's my favorite.
I would be like the cartoon
Rob,
running.
your mic's still on mute.
And then she broke into "If I Were the Devil."
If I was
everybody a shot.
If I was in the room, I would have ran out of there like a cartoon with my feet like scurrying, like I'm out of here.
You really want a Stained fan giving you an injection in a delicate area?
Also, it makes me feel so old that someone who is a Stained fan, who is essentially my age, can have a child, like a grown teen. I imagine, and
the
name
craziest thing, her kid, 36 years old. She stayed way back in the demo days.
Who knew?
I should have asked how old her kid was now that I'm thinking about it, but it didn't even dawn on me. So me being the
follow-up.
What if
I am,
sorry.
because I've listened to the livecast so much, I go, is that the guy from Creed? And she's like, no. So then I start trying to think of every terrible band from that era. So I'm like, is he in Puddle of Mud? No, he's in Stained. They're so good. So me thinking about livecast memes, and I was like, oh, the only time I've ever heard that guy, he was cursing out his fans, telling him to shut up because they couldn't hear his music.
Well, which would be more embarrassing if it was? Which is more embarrassing, being a Stained fan or a Creed fan?
I think Creed.
I don't know. Can I give a counter argument at least? Sure. I feel that Creed's music is bad. I would say Stained is a better band or a less bad band. But at least Creed doesn't do go on Fox on Mike Huckabee and do right-wing songs and stuff.
Let's ask the former Stained fan, Rob.
Yeah.
What's the answer to that question?
Stained didn't go on Huckabee. Just the singer did in his solo career.
Let's be real.
And I'm fairly certain that guys in Creed are right-wing as well. I mean,
yeah,
Rob,
but
you can confirm.
No, the rest of them are nice guys. The rest of them are fine. Mark
but
isn't what was the question though? Sorry, I was.
Isn't stained by the association with Aaron Lewis? Maybe that's what the band name means.
Yeah, fair. I can't argue with that.
What was the question about Creed or Stained?
I just had to call you guys and tell you guys about it because I just immediately thought of the live cast.
Well, Aaron, that was a great story, and we appreciate you telling us. And also, now we'll forever remember you. And because Aaron Lewis is also from Florida.
I've watched the show so many times, but nothing I've ever done has been memorable.
Well, do we know for a fact that she's a Stained fan? I was gonna say maybe she just saw him on Mike Huckabee, and that's why she just had the kid 6 months ago.
She's part of the Huckabee horde.
About the video she saw.
Sorry, can you say that again, Aaron?
Happy,
Sorry, bad delay. You got to start over.
Sorry. She started telling me about this video that she saw where he defended a girl that was being groped when she was crowd surfing.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
And that was the reasoning for why he's a good person.
Crazy thing, that girl, Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Oh.
Ugh.
Who knew?
That's how he got booked.
Small world. So Rob, the question was,
before you guys kick me off, I have a singular question to ask.
Okay.
I want to know: do Darren and Sid think that there's actually going to be a baseball season this year?
I do.
Of any kind?
I think they'll do something. I can't I mean,
When does it start?
basketball,
April,
hockey
right?
might be a wrap, but I feel like baseball will have something.
They've
Well,
done
let's
like
be
half
re-
a season before, right? Like,
Well,
with
no, there was I think that year you're talking about, there was about 90 games or something, and then a
Thereabouts.
postseason.
More than half, yeah.
So, yeah, I would
How many
say.
are there usually?
I'm sorry, what?
How many are there usually?
162.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I would say this would have to be over roughly by the end of June for there to be any hope of having like any. I think they wouldn't start if it was any later than that.
Well, I have a question for you, Darren. The same question that you asked for John about, let's say this thing does end in June, and they're like, okay, go ahead, go back to normal. Do you think that people will just want to go to baseball games and large gatherings?
I
What do you think
think
about?
it's the same thing John said on the phone. People will be like horses, trying to get out the door to go to these things, which I don't know if it's particularly safe, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it'll be 50-50. I'm sure there's going to be
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people like that, but I think there's going to be a lot of agoraphobics out there.
I think I couldn't agree more. I feel like my behavior is actually going to change permanently.
Yeah, and honestly, like I'm more on the agoraphobic side, just because. Getting a lot of weird. What's that? And so. Yeah, I would be more on the agoraphobic side just because there's no cure. There's no, you could still, until there's a vaccine, which isn't a year from now. How do you know? Unless they're going to be testing you at the entrance to the venue, which that's really what it has to be.
But X-ray machines?
But even the best estimate of a perfect test for coronavirus.
It was a perfect test, absolutely perfect.
I mean, you're talking about a 45-minute delay before you get the results. Like, it needs to be
well,
processed
to
look at the results.
They're working on it. Like, now there's a 15-minute test. So they're constantly
really? I didn't know that development.
Yeah, I think it was it's moving so quickly, and I feel like the government is willing to greenlight anything just because we're so behind on this. Imagine if we had a 2-month head start. As opposed to doing this all in March. It's really pointless now to even harp on it. But
we live in a third world country.
I mean, it's really what's been exposed. And I feel, Aaron, thank you. We're going to let you go.
Unless he wanted to one himself.
Yeah,
I'm going to try. I'm going to try to rig this so I can one somebody. Can we see if this works? This is a live on the fly test. Ready?
Go ahead, Aaron.
1.
No. Goodbye.
Gave it a shot.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right. So as we're talking about the Rona, even friend of the show, Mike Francesa, has had enough. And I posted this in the Discord.
He basically yesterday accused the hospital of padding the numbers they need because
I want to point out.
Set it up a little.
I want to point out, first of all, you hear there's an echo. That's not my fault. That's Mike Francesa's show's fault. This was one of the clips where I was like, oh wow, even old Mike can't figure out his echo.
Yeah, we were freaking out in the pre-show, like setting up the sound and everything, and like, oh my god, we got an echo, and then figured out no, that was actually just Mike's stupid clip that he couldn't get rid of the echo.
So Francesa, who is, or I guess at this point maybe was, a Trump supporter, he said he voted for Trump, is talking about how Trump is going on doing these daily fucking propaganda speeches that the press is barely questioning him on.
Mike's whole show is about Trump now, basically.
And how he went and was like, oh, we've sent plenty of PPE, which is protective gear, and like masks, and they're just like hoarding it or whatever is what Trump is claiming, which it's just like, what are like, he's starting all these feuds.
He's claiming that people are stealing it from the hospitals, like off the back of a truck.
Which it's weird. He's using these same exact tactics as he's done his entire political career. But anyway, let's hear Mike do it, because his frustration was so cathartic for me.
He basically yesterday accused the hospital of padding the numbers they need because they were trying to sell or sending out the back door the masks. How do you go from using 20,000 masks to 300,000 masks? Can't be done. Go investigate that. You go investigate that. You have your military or FEMA investigate that. That's your job.
Your femur.
Your femur.
Have your thigh bone investigate.
It'd be like that, but just his like, you go investigate that. Like that.
I'm just picturing somebody's little thigh bone is like Columbo. Like, go and investigate. Send your femur, okay? Your ulna. Get them all together.
I just imagine Trump singing, "The femur's connected to the pelvis."
Okay.
How do you go from using 20,000 masks to 300,000 masks? Can't be done. Go investigate that. You go investigate that. You have your military or FEMA investigate that. That's your job.
I need that femur clip when we go back to this.
Can I just explain why he's getting the echo, which I'm surprised that Mons is not explaining to him from working in radio? Sid, you might also be aware. He's not creating a mix minus, so he's sending his voice to himself, which is why you can hear it like that.
Listen to you showing off with your.
Rob.
That's
I know
the
radio
term?
too.
That was a big problem. If I knew it was called mix minus, maybe I could have searched for a solution faster.
If only we had some way for the two of you to communicate.
Yeah, thanks for that, Noah. Now that I figured it out.
She wanted to show how smart she was. She let our shit fuck up and then said it on the air what she could have done.
I wanted to trump Rob.
Yeah, very Trump.
Yes.
You're the producer, Noah. You do.
She's like the government releasing a virus to the people.
That's
Much
right.
as I respect your audio skills, I have to take one small issue with what you said. What the real problem was that the hospitals stole the mix minus from the Mike Francesa broadcast. No way. There's no way you can go from 20,000 decibels to 300,000. It's impossible. Can't be done. Can't be done. Okay.
That you have your military or FEMA investigate that. That's your job. You're in charge of this. If this is a war, they're stealing your supplies. What do? You tell them. You tell the media to go investigate it. What? And get back to you in 6 weeks or 2 months as more people die on a daily basis.
Yeah, man, you get it. Like, he's so right. I've never agreed with Mike Francesa more. I never.
I'm overwhelmed with a feeling that we're listening to a Mark Braverman video. What's his name? Mark B. We can edit that. What time are we at? Because
that's what's wrong.
He's just a terrible, gelatinous, horrible person, but saying the correct thing in a horrible delivery.
I can't believe that we're living in a world where Mike Francesa is reasonable.
I know.
What have we become?
But
Anybody
also, it's
standing
just
next to Trump is reasonable.
yeah. It's how far off the cliff the president has gone, where even Mike Francesa can't defend it. Like, not only can't defend it, he's fed up.
You tell the media to go investigate it. What? And get back to you in 6 weeks or 2 months as more people die on a daily basis. That's what's wrong here. There's a disconnect.
His rage is echoing.
Mike's just mad because the restaurant that makes his favorite linguine with clam sauce had to close. He's over this shit.
I go to every store, okay, in Midtown. They don't even have Diet Coke in the bottles. I gotta buy a 2-liter. I can't even buy a 20-ounce Diet Coke now because of the deliveries. And this is Trump's fault, okay?
You deliver it, Trump.
Trump claiming that the Diet Coke, the 20 ounces, have been taken off the back of a truck. It's not plausible, okay?
You're the president. Order more Diet Coke.
Yes, that's FEMA.
I'm envisioning a military Humvee loaded with like a pallet of Diet Cokes pulling up to Francesa's house.
No lips to God's ears. All right. I called up my friend Bill Parcells.
We're watching one thing happen.
Sorry.
He had any Diet Coke? I did not. Unfortunately, that's the way these things go. We are in a crisis. We are all suffering losses.
We're watching one thing happen in our city on the 11 o'clock news every night. We're watching people die, and now we know people who died. And we're not seeing one or two people die now in our neighborhood. We're seeing them die by the 10.
Does he know? Who does he know that died? Nobody.
He probably was friends with that the NYPD counterterrorism guy who used to be on Channel 4 News. You know what I'm talking about? Like John Miller or whatever his name is. He used to be like a reporter, and now he works for the NYPD, and he has it. So that's probably who Francesa's.
I don't know who that is, but Noah thinks it's hilarious that he's dead.
No, I just
I don't think he's dead.
Oh, okay.
But he's
infected.
He's getting treated.
You actually dug someone up, and even he's not dead. He doesn't know fuck all about anybody dead. Living out in 5 towns, or whatever the fuck he lives in his bubble.
Excuse
Maybe he
me.
was a big Joe Diffie fan.
I was laughing at how specific Sid's description was, like how thoroughly you knew his title.
Well, I think that they probably crossed paths when Mike had his NBC show, Mic'd Up. They might have both been at the news station at the same time. They went to the strip club after tapings.
Let's hear a little more.
Can I go on a tangent for a second? Because that show, Mic'd Up, is a funny kind of story. Mike had this, he got franchised himself into this show on Sunday night where he talks about the events of the day that happened in sports or whatever. And then he lost it, like NBC kicked him off, but they kept it mic'd up. They kept the name of the show Mic'd Up, and the guy on the show is not named Mike. Just some dude.
It was Bruce Beck, right?
And
Bruce up.
It was NBC's show, so he had to change the name of his radio show, which was also called Mic'd Up.
Wait.
It's Mike's On.
So did Francesa like that or hate it?
Oh, no, he was pissed. Like, the first 2 days he was on the air, after that happened, he was really salty. And he was talking about they had to bring the band in that recorded the Mic'd Up song to now make it Mike's On. And how that was a hassle and all this stuff. Like, the whole show was about how NBC fucked him over with that. Anyway, sorry about that. I know you want to.
No, that was a good tangent. All right, here's a little more.
Tens and 20s by the day. They're bringing people out of the hospital in Queens in body bags. 5 minutes from where he grew up.
Like, he gives a shit about that.
We here know this isn't right. You get the guys in the metropolitan area and ask the cops in New York if it's right now. Ask the firemen in New York who are answering those police calls answering those ambulance calls if it's right now.
Ask the Diet Coke delivery guys if it's right now. I haven't got shit for 3 weeks. Okay?
For the record, there is a Diet Coke in the shot.
Oh.
Of course.
This is my last one, okay?
It's hoarding it like toilet paper.
Now, they know it's not.
I might have to drink Diet Coke vanilla with orange, okay? That's all that's left on the shit. It's like when you go to the meat aisle and they have everything's empty, but there's like one vegan section. It's full of meat. It's the same thing. Diet Coke vanilla with orange. It's disgusting.
It's practically like going in. You go to the poultry and all that's left is the chicken gizzards.
Yeah. Diet Coke vanilla with orange is the chicken gizzards of Diet Coke, okay?
Right now. They know it's not. They don't have the supplies they need. So don't give me the My Pillow guy doing a song and dance up here on a Monday afternoon when people are dying in Queens.
Yeah.
I love that what he's talking about is Trump brought the My Pillow guy on the stage.
Unreal.
Which is, of course, absurd and we live in a hyper reality now that makes no sense whatsoever. But I also thought the reaction to it was a little stupid also, because like you had people in one tweet saying, the My Pillow guy, how dare Trump soil our democracy by bringing the My Pillow guy on? And in the next tweet, it's like, oh, well, Biden only raped 8 people and Trump raped 23 people. So we really should, vote blue no matter who. But the My Pillow guy, no, that's a bridge too far. We can't have that.
Well, the My Pillow guy isn't running for president.
Agreed. No.
Yet.
Make that argument like that we can't. Don't get me wrong. The My Pillow guy should not be in a press conference on national television. Yeah. But to make the argument that this is an absurd thing that we can't process, but you're going to have a rapist guy that try to keep like black children from going to school with white children as the fucking president, like that's okay.
Well, to be specific, what happened is this week there was a rape allegation against Biden that a lot of people aren't acknowledging.
Well, there's actually 8 rape allegations.
I mean, he like rapes the little girls he has on stage all the time. Is that not apparent enough?
Well, I mean, you're joking, but that's a good point. Like, is this so far-fetched to believe that we're going to smear a rape accuser when this guy can't keep his, like...
Mouth there.
Here?
You got so flustered that your camera cut out for a second.
I think nobody actually wanted to smear the accuser. It just happens that her name is Tara Reid.
Oh.
So people are smearing, thinking that it's the other.
Honestly, I
didn't. You know, that might not actually be a joke. I mean, there might be people who think it is that Tara Reid.
I didn't put it together. Like I didn't put it together until I heard you say it. Like I've been reading it, and I was just like, oh.
And now you're picturing Biden and Carson Daly doing a train on her, aren't you?
And a shark.
Let's not be.
She was consensual with Carson Daly. Let's just.
Oh, and the shark. To be fair, let's hear a little more of this.
Get the stuff made, get the stuff where it needs to go, and get the boots on the ground. Treat this like the crisis it is.
Now I'm just hearing this like he's talking about Diet Coke. Get the stuff made, get it to the people who need it.
We need to recut this, so he's talking about Diet Coke.
It really
I'm on
is.
my last one, for cripe's sakes. I have no funds to go get me that. I gotta go get him. I sent Ro, but you know, same thing. She's tough. She got a great immune system. She got 2 great femurs. She could walk out there.
Well, also, what's great is this is of course from the Twitter that we've talked about before. Back after this. Which archives classic Mike clips. So he tagged on another clip to be like, just to put this in context, Francesa is a huge Trump guy. And here's a clip of Francesa bragging about working for Donald Trump's dad.
A racist, a complete Nazi from the KKK.
A man who started with a lot of money. His father was wealthy.
He's talking about Donald right now.
And Donald Trump's father, Fred Trump, is not Trump's a Nazi, literal card-carrying member of the Ku Klux Klan.
Like there are newspaper clippings of him renting some venue to the Klan in New York to do a rally or something like that. Like there's ample.
He got arrested.
Right.
He got arrested at a KKK rally.
He just happened to be there, just walking by. But anyway, so here's Francesa talking about Donald and his father, Fred.
And who started with a lot of money. His father was wealthy.
Okay.
I used to park his father's car. Okay, FT77. I still remember it. Down at the Atlantic Beach Club when I used to park cars there. I had the parking lot concession when I was a kid, living right next to it. And I worked at the Beach Club for years. And I used to park, they only came on Sunday, and it was FT77, Fred Trump. And I remember it very well. They'd get out and go to brunch. And I used to park Mr. Trump's limousine. I'd take it from here to there. It was the first one I saw that had
I'll take it from here to there. You know, it was over here, then I put it over there.
It was weird, you know. I saw like the charred remains of crosses in the back seat, but I never thought nothing of it, you know. I just thought, you know, maybe there was a fire in his house or something. I don't know. Okay.
Trump used to come on Sunday afternoon, and they had a blue Cadillac, a big blue limousine. FT77 was the license plate, and that was
Who
Fred
the fuck
Trump.
cares what the license plate was? Why?
Also, what the fuck is 77?
Why do I need this detail in your story? Like, get to the fucking point.
That's how you knew it was Fred Trump.
Donald
I used to
car.
carry his white robes from here to there. I mean, it was you know, I'd pick them up from the laundry, the Chinese laundry.
I don't remember him. I remember them all getting out of the car and all blondes and everyone, but I don't remember him obviously. But I did grow up parking their cars and knew his father. And his father used to give me a very good tip. He used to tip me $10. When I used to get $1 from a car was a lot. Okay, I mean $5 was a massive tip in those days. You're talking about
It's true.
69, 70, 71.
Wait, do you think now that Mike Francesa is like charred beyond all recognition with the fake tanning he does, would Fred Trump, if he was alive today, still tip him $10, thinking he might be a black person?
Well
then you got to ask, would he even acknowledge his own son?
That's true. Well, he's so orange that it doesn't look like a black person. It just looks like a weird clown face.
Yeah.
I think Mike would be more likely to be taken for an African American. And what about, remember Mad Dog too? We were watching
God.
him on MLB. He looks, I have to say, he looks worse than Mike Francesa. I feel like Francesa got a real decent job of his tan done on him. But Russo looks like a baked potato, like an
He
overdone.
just fell asleep on the beach for a weekend.
Oh,
Or on the golf course.
it's very unhealthy.
His skin tone is the same color as his hair.
Oh, that's right. You see him up close. Does he look unhealthy in person?
No, he looks like he's got color to the face.
I think you're being nice. Yeah, I understand. You have to work it.
But it's not dry. Like, he looks very well, like, moisturized and cared for.
Don't look like the Utah desert with the cracks or anything?
No.
Okay. All right. That's Noah's update. I don't expect. I can't put you on the spot. You work with these people, so I will say he looks like shit. You don't
No. I'm telling you in person. It could be that he has like extra, like, you know what the bodybuilders put on, like that paint. Maybe that's what they have when he's doing TV. It's like TV makeup.
Whatever they're doing, take it off. It was like fucking shit.
Just take him off of TV. How about that?
I like his show. I'm not gonna lie. When he sticks to only baseball, like I don't know.
It's fun to laugh at. It's like when your crazy uncle comes over and you're like, I don't know what the hell he's going to say, but it's going to be amusing.
It's like 40 minutes. It's like 40 minutes to laugh at, and 20 minutes he does a better job of anyone else on that network.
And farting.
Does he fart a lot, Noah?
Do you remember that one time I told you that story where he walked by me and he farted?
Oh yeah, I forgot all about it. What if his ass might have the power to beat the COVID-19?
You know what? Then he would be a miracle to society.
Let's go. Mad Dog, get on it. Go join forces with Mike Francesa, and then you can actually get the supplies out to people. Get on Trump's ass. You aim farts at him, and Mike Francesa can rant at him. Sorry, Rob. More clip. Got sidetracked again.
When I would park cars there, and I made a lot of money in the parking lot. I worked very hard there in the summer, but I ran the concession.
Also, I worked very hard. Did you? You parked cars?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
I drove cars.
You stood on your feet.
From here to there. Here to there. That's it. Only if I had to go past there, I didn't do it. Somebody else did it.
That was the second.
Just here to there. That was my purview, so to speak. Okay.
You'd get change from the women in the afternoon, then they'd have an event at night, and the guys would each give you $1, but he'd give me $10.
I would like to point out that he's throwing shade at women, that women were shitty tippers.
I was in Fred Trump's car, Mr. Trump. I found a copy of the Protocols of the Elders of Zion in there. I don't know if I was maybe one of the other valets put it in there. I don't know.
And he would just say, just don't play with the phone. That's what he'd say. Is he'd give it to me, and I'd just park it off to the side.
He would say, just don't play with the phone and don't look at the bodies in the trunk. Okay, that's it.
Okay, kid. This was when he was 45, working for CBS, covering the NCAA finals, and they didn't pay very well, so he had to park cars also.
And he would come in, and they just stay a couple hours on Sundays. So I did actually. Who would think that you would have a budding president? You know,
not me.
A guy who would be president of the United States coming out of that car when I was parking.
You know, I agree with you incredibly.
It is amazing to me. Hard to believe that a rich white billionaire who belongs to a racist country club could ever climb the ladder and become president. It's unfathomable.
Yep.
I mean, it goes on a little more, but that was the meat of it. He's just bragging more about.
I want to know who else Francesca met up with in his travels as a valet at a country club.
As a cub.
Oh yeah, well probably that too. But like who else was in this racist billionaire country club with Fred Trump?
Probably Epstein.
Yeah, well Epstein would have been like the same age as Francesa though, so he may not have been raping or facilitating rapes yet.
Just thinking about it. Yeah.
One other, while we're on the Rona, I wanted to talk about. So, like something we've been sending our links around in our group chat about some absurd articles that have come out in regards to this, and mainly about how now, coughing on somebody is essentially illegal, especially coughing on police officers.
Well, if you do it on purpose, if you just accidentally do it, I don't think they're going to lock you up. But if you're like doing it as a threat,
voluntary manslaughter exists.
Well, here is this article. CBS has learned that a 51-year-old man has entered the Chicago Police Department's 11th District Station and coughed in the direction of the front desk.
Oh my God! Cop killer! He's a motherfucking cop killer!
Was it Ice-T?
Yeah, it's Body Count.
Album. Cop cougher.
Authorities tell
I got the motherfucking Rona.
Authorities
I'm gonna cough on you. I'm about to take some cops out. I'm about to spread this virus out.
Cop cougher, better me than you. Cop cougher, giving you the COVID too.
Cop cougher, I can't find Diet Coke. It's a cameo from Mike
Francesa.
We can't get these masks out, okay? Okay?
So authorities tell CBS 2 that people at the front desk included the sergeant and 3 other officers. The man later ran into a marked ride-share vehicle, and the man was a documented gang member. Okay. Police officers arrested the man for reckless conduct. Authorities said the man did not have a medical-grade mask on and did not cover his mouth while coughing.
Gang member, could be Ice-T, former gang member.
Yeah. But then he's also a cop, technically, right? Because he's on a TV show. So it's like an inside job.
And then here's the most absurd sentence in this whole story. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, there have been reports of offenders coughing on law enforcement nationwide.
My God. The shame. The shame, our boys in blue getting coughed on.
Oh, come on, Darren. They're not all horrible people.
What did I say? I said it's
being
a shame.
Sarcastic.
Well, you know what the shame is? The shame is that they don't have the medical grade equipment where they can afford to be coughed on. They should all be wearing masks and gloves. That's the shame, that our government has failed the people who works for them.
How come no one's talking about the rideshare guy who may have also been coughed on?
Yeah, well, I thought that they stopped ride sharing. I thought that was not allowed anymore.
No,
as part of the
well, it was a dollar van. That's the new rideshare.
No. It's like the pools that they stopped. You can't take a share with other people, but you can take. Uber is still active, but you have to take a solo Uber or
I
like
thought you
your
were going to
party.
say you can't take a shit with other people.
Well,
You can still do that.
as long as you're 6 feet apart.
Rob, has this lockdown messed with your bathhouse schedule? Are you doing that less?
Banya? The old Banya?
It did. I was wondering about that a few weeks ago before, like, it really went, like, before they closed all the gyms. I was just like, would it be safe to go to
It's
and
not
like,
even
no,
safe before.
it
I
seems
thought
like
it was
safe.
good for the chest.
You think the Rona's going to survive and all that man sweat and like fucking...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, but it's sadly closed.
I'm about to go to the Banya. I'm about to motherfucking cough on you. I'm a cop cougher, even in the Banya.
Cops don't go in there. They know better.
It's true.
Everyone should go. It's very relaxing. So on March 29th, FBI were in the process of arresting a man at his Brooklyn home on charges of price gouging sales of N95 masks and other medical supplies when he coughed in the direction of the nearby agents and said he had the coronavirus. In this case, I feel like it's a stronger thing You know, because he's admitting he has the disease.
But he might be lying.
He might be lying.
He's
That's
got
true.
boxes and boxes of masks. I mean, how good are those masks if the guy who has them is infected?
So they charged him with assaulting a federal officer and making false statements to law enforcement. He faces up to 5 years in prison. Coughing on an officer is now assault.
So wait, so let's say it turns out he doesn't have coronavirus. Is it still the same charge?
Is that why they charged him with lying to an officer?
I don't know. But let me ask this question though. So forget this case, but if I cough on you and I don't have it, is it the same charge as if I cough on you and I do have it?
Well, they have to test you.
Like if I point an empty gun at you, is it the same as if I point a loaded gun at you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Or if you punch someone, but there's no like force behind your punch because you're weak, you still punch, right?
But they probably feel sorry for you and not bother pressing charges.
Or okay, if you try to punch someone and you miss, if you try to punch a cop and you miss.
Yeah, that would be attempted. That would be assault. They'd still charge you with assault for that.
Yeah. But if you connect, then they beat the shit out of you and then charge you with assault.
Well, see, let me read the details of the story, and then maybe this will change our perspective. FBI agents witnessed multiple instances during which individuals approached this man's residence and walked away with boxes or bags that appeared to contain medical supplies. On that date, FBI agents approached the man outside his residence. After identifying themselves, they told the man that they wanted to stay a distance away from him, given concerns over the spread of the virus. When agents were within 4 or 5 feet of him, the man allegedly coughed in their direction without covering his mouth. The agents then told him they were looking for certain PPE materials, and they had information that he was in possession of large quantity of materials. At that point, the man told the agents that he had the virus, and that's when they did the raid, I guess.
You're supposed to cough before they get you. That's how you keep them away. It's like a hostage situation.
Poor guy. Just trying to price gouge some masks.
Well, did he also say? Go ahead. Sorry.
No.
I'll say he also claimed that I don't know if it's in that story you read or if I missed it, but he claimed that he was just running the masks for somebody else. He had nothing to do with the production or the stealing of it. He was just making a living, which I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he said.
Yeah, I don't know.
But still, isn't that? I feel like fuck him. Like that's just
the
same thing.
Yeah.
So the other day I went to the pharmacy, and I noticed that I tried so hard to get my birth control prescription to like a local mom and pop pharmacy and not support like the big companies. Mm-hmm. And so I go to this local pharmacy. It turned out like they just did not even care for my business. But anyway, I saw that she had hand sanitizers on the counter that she was labeling, and I was like, oh, is there like actual alcohol in these? And she's like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'll take one. She rings me up. Do you know how much I paid for a hand sanitizer? That's maybe, I guess, like 12 ounces.
How much?
Should we all guess?
Yeah.
$10.
Rob, you go.
$10.
Darren.
I'm guessing it's a lot since there's a story about it, so I'm gonna say, I'll say $12.50.
Sid?
I'm gonna go with 15.
Ding, ding, ding. $15.
Oh, right on the nose. Sid, you win $250,000.
I'd rather just get some hand sanitizer, to be honest.
And she was selling N95 masks. I think it was like $25 a pop.
Were they reusable or single use? What was the deal?
I think they're really all single use. You're not supposed to reuse them, but like still for one.
That's wild.
Yeah, I found a place that has them and they're charging $1 each.
Wow.
But are they just regular surgical? Like what kind of? I mean, really, it doesn't matter.
The N95 has the clip. It does matter actually. The N95 is better. It's because you can clip it to your nose and really keep it tight on your skin.
Well, when I say it doesn't matter, I just mean like any sort of facial protection is like it just to avoid the spittle from coming in and out of your mouth.
Yeah, and also other people's spittle landing on your face too.
Yeah.
I think the N95 filters the air more than just a regular surgical mask. I think that's why those are beneficial.
Don't you still have to clean it, though? Like when you finish using it, because it accrues all the junk.
Yeah, it's supposed to be one-time use, really. You're not supposed to use them.
A lot of money.
Especially if it's $25 a pop.
Right. Well, they're very marked up, and I mean, we don't have to get into the logistics, but if you are really worried about it, there are retreats now that you can go on, because it's like, who are the first people to be okay? Rich people, obviously. When the whole thing was first blowing up, one of the Utah Jazz tested positive for it, and then they were able to test all 58 members of the team when right away when nobody else could get a test. How did those people get tested? The answer is they're rich. Well,
right. So the best way to get a test is to cough on a rich person and wait for them to get a test and see if they have it.
Right. That's a good point.
Interesting.
But then you're in jail.
Yeah, that's true. So, at least you're going to be quarantined at home anyway. What's the difference?
Well,
in Rikers, then.
In
jail you'll probably get it because there's outbreaks all over the prisons.
Oh God, that is scary.
I know.
I do want to say that if you do feel the need to get tested, I would recommend, instead of going to like a doctor or the hospital where they probably are very scarce, go to a primary care physician like CityMD or this place that I use, Forward, because they do have tests and they're more willing to give them if you are showing the symptoms. You still can't.
Don't go just because you have a sniffle.
Yeah, if you have a sniffle, just stay home for 2 weeks. Like, assume you have it and like don't do anything. But if you're feeling great and want to get away from it all, you can go to Harbor, which is a luxury 2-month retreat. This sounds like the cult thing we were reading about Jared Leto a few weeks ago, but like, this is so disgusting. Harbor is a luxury 2-month retreat in California focused on weathering the storm during the global COVID-19 pandemic. Why, they ask. Social distancing is great for flattening the curve, but it's not the only option to stay safe and keep others safe during a time of crisis. Harbor is a community of makers, thinkers, and doers that become your sanctuary. Harbor will
Jared's
give you
doing the jerk off sign.
Harbor will give you an opportunity to meet, mingle, and collaborate with some of the brightest, forward-thinking individuals. No face mask required.
Where is this occurring?
This is like in outside of LA.
So it's out on the mainland.
Yes. There's a little more, but go ahead, Noah.
Is Ja Rule involved in any way?
Ow! It sounds like this is a fire festival type thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Harbor was created by a group of friends, entrepreneurs, musicians, and creatives with the goal of fostering and growing our family during the current times of uncertainty. We are looking forward. Yeah, what are you talking about?
For women to impregnate?
We're looking forward to connecting with you and will accompany you through this journey as part of Harbor's core community. Safety. With tests becoming widely available in the coming weeks from private corporations, people who are looking to find peace of mind through testing should certainly take the opportunity to do so. While we encourage social distancing and self-isolation, we have ourselves been in self-isolation for 18 days now.
Time out. How are they encouraging self-isolation if they're hosting a retreat that is the opposite of self-isolation?
Right. This is something that I was thinking about. People are going to start to try to like game the system and be like, well, I've been quarantining for 2 weeks, so I obviously don't have it. I can go hang out now with people who have also been, which is not true. No, unless you. What are you saying, Darren?
That's what I was trying to say before, is that even if the government, like tomorrow, said, oh, well, we now have adequate tests for everybody, quarantine's over, you can go back to work, you could do all this. you could still get it. Like there's
Yeah.
still going to be a good amount of people that have it
And
that
don't know
haven't
about
been
it.
tested, don't know they have it. Like you can't. There will be some things that improve, and we can like de-isolate a little bit, like little by little. But you can't just go, make out with everybody in the street that you see. It's good, and it's people. I think what John said in the interview is right. Like a good portion of the population is just going to run off and like they've been let out of prison. And the other part of the population is going to still stay quarantined for like another extra 2 or 3 months if they can.
Well, good news. They will require any symptomatic potential attendees to get tested and will give preference to candidates that can confirm the virus-free status to ensure the safety of our community. Which is like, even if you got a test a week ago and confirmed that you don't have it, you can still have it now. Like it's
can be dormant.
Yeah.
It takes 2 to 10 days average, and sometimes 2 weeks to figure out if you have it or not, to see symptoms.
So they're selling like a 6-bedroom house for $825 a night. So maybe we all go. We do the show from there.
We could use our Patreon money, right? We do that? A couple more months?
Yeah, sure.
Can we lure all these people who will respond to that and then like build a giant sanitary wall around them so that they don't infect anybody else?
Well, it's when you fill out the form, they ask you anything you can contribute, workshops, facilitation, and they add that we're happy to subsidize stays for members who are willing to contribute their skills, music, professional facilitation, operations,
Podcasters.
to the goal of
Web
making
development.
Harbor not only the safest, but also most fulfilling experience in the world during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is literally come join our COVID cult.
It's a sex cult. These guys just want women to come so they can bang them in isolation. That's 100% what this is.
Harbor.im, if you're one of these rich people thinking about it.
.im? The hell is .im?
They're probably a cheap domain. They probably blew all their money
That's suspicious.
on the.
It's
I am infected is what it fucking stands for. Get the fuck out of there.
Oh!
That's what they did with AIM after AOL shut AIM down.
Yeah. I feel like some of our listeners will not get that joke.
That's fine.
Even like when contemporary people at the time AIM was around didn't fucking use AIM.
Yeah.
By the way, .im is the Isle of Man. In case you want.
Really?
Yes. Country code.
Wow. Even more suspicious.
Well, put them all on a fucking island. It's a good idea.
Sure.
Trapped there. At least they'll all get sick and probably die, but at least they won't affect the rest of the population.
Yeah. It's like an episode of Black Mirror. These people leave society because they want to escape a virus, and then they end up being the ones that all die.
Yep.
I'd watch that.
Sure, why not? I'd watch anything Black Mirror, even though some of them aren't that great.
Well, I do want to, we are kind of getting to the end of the show, and we do have some feedback, some hate mail.
Oh.
And you can, of course, always email us. hatemail@metalinjection.net is the email, and then we will read it. Also, I want to point out, of course, our Patreon. We're going to be reading our top Livecast fans of the week in a moment. It is March 31st at the strike of midnight. It'll be April 1st, which means a new bonus Patreon episode is going to be posted exclusively for our Patreon subscribers. And for $5 a month, you get access to all of the bonus episodes that we've done so far, including this new one that goes up tonight, which will be all of us. We did a watch along before the coronavirus hit. We did a watch along of Santa with Muscles, which was a Hulk Hogan vehicle, and it was a brutally awful movie. And and we watch it all, and we do a watch along commentary. So, and the movie is streaming for free on YouTube, so you can essentially load up the movie, load up this bonus episode, and it's like we're all hanging out, and we get to mock the movie for you for the entire 90 minutes. At least, thankfully, it was only 90 minutes, but it truly felt like it was
5 hours.
2.5 hours. It really felt like a fucking Avengers movie or some shit. So that is on our Patreon tonight, patreon.com/Metal Injection Livecast. And there's a bunch of great stuff in the archives. Also, we did a Motley Crue, the Dirt movie watch-along. We did a Pantera watch-along. We did roundtables about Lords of Chaos, about Uncut Gems. Lots of fun stuff in the Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Metal Injection Livecast. So to our hate mail, we got one from Rob. And, last week we were talking about how we hope that most people are socially distancing and staying home. But, of course, some people do not have that luxury. And some people do have to go to work. And Rob writes in. He says, I can assure you people still working in the current crisis are not getting double or even extra pay. That's right. That was something else we mentioned where we said we hope people are getting compensated for the hard work they're doing.
Nope.
Because, of course not.
Hard essential work they are doing.
Rob continues that the warehouse where I work are still paying minimum wage, which is terrible. He says the government in UK are paying employees 80% of their wages to sit at home if their business is temporarily closed down and they can't go to work, which is more than our government is doing. For me, it's business as usual, working 5 days a week, going to the shops at the weekend, which include groceries, garden centers, and sports shops. The only difference for me now is I can't buy hand sanitizer and the roads are safer to cycle on. Well, Rob, that's crazy, but we do hope you are staying safe. And he did mention that he's doing all this with a weakened immune system from having chronic fatigue. So,
is he in the UK?
Yes.
Oh.
At least they have national health care.
Yeah.
I was reading, well, maybe not for long. That's in jeopardy. But I was reading that China, like in China, they're going door to door giving supplies to like families and stuff.
Right.
And checks in the mail. Like China, the
do you
country
believe that?
I mean, like this is like testimonials from people online, like random people, not the government putting out.
Not bots.
There's photos even.
It must be bots.
I mean,
well, everything could be presented in a
You're
photo.
right. You're right, but there's been enough reports of it where it seems.
Yeah, why should I even disbelieve that anyway?
There's just
every country's really doing that more or less, except the U.S.
Yeah, we're not getting that.
We're not getting it because we're the worst of those countries. How are they haggling over $1,200? It took them like a week and a half to compromise enough to give us the crumbs of $1,200 fucking dollars.
And even still, it's not there yet. Like people in Germany have already gotten direct deposits into their banks. In South Korea, their first case was the same day as ours, and they have already curbed the problem. The curve is flattened. There's no new case. There's like a few cases a day. There's no death. There's only been 100 deaths in South Korea, whereas with us, there's been tens of thousands already. So,
and they're talking. We're the only country I know of that they're talking about like forcing people, encouraging people to go back to work if they're not that sick, because the economy is going to fall apart if they don't. Like, how disgusting is that? Yeah, we should sacrifice our bodies so that the stock market doesn't collapse. Like, fuck you.
Moving along with the hate mail, we got Josh, and he really wrote this.
Is this Josh from Wales?
No.
Same Josh?
Different Josh.
How do you know? Oh, what are you going to put down this Josh for?
He just misses Josh from Wales.
I missed Josh from Wales.
So Josh writes, this is Josh B. He goes, hi, guys.
He did not write that.
He did write it.
Yes, he did.
I'll forward it to you.
I'm sure he wrote hi, guys.
He wrote, hi, guys. That's how he wrote it.
You're choosing to pronounce it that way. I'm just gonna
How is it spelled, Rob?
HHHHAAAAEEEYYYYYGUISE. That's hi, guys.
But you don't have to do the nasal. Like that's.
Well, how am I supposed to read that?
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Try again,
It says guys. Guys is not elongated.
Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Josh from Indiana here. A couple of weeks ago, a listener wrote in asking the worst thing you've seen on public transportation. Well, it got me thinking, and although I don't use public transportation, I do work in the transportation industry, dealing with truck drivers, and I have a few things that you might be interested to hear. I feel like Josh might have written to us before, because I remember the truck.
Does he have a lead on any Diet Coke? I have a friend that wants to know.
He goes, first and foremost, recently a gentleman came in and leaned over my desk trying to hand me some papers. He smelled like a cat box that should have been cleaned last month. Worse than that, though, he had what very evidently looked like poop on his hand. I noticed because it was smeared all over the paperwork he was handing me. I jumped back and walked out of the room. When I came back, I told him... When I came back, I told him he needed to go wash his hands immediately before I would assist him. Also, one day a truck was pulled into one of our service bays. The smell in the truck was absolutely abysmal. They needed a new transmission. So one of the techs go under the truck and drops the drive shaft. A cloud of dirt falls down into his face. He said, "This smells like shit." As he continues to do the work, he realizes that there is a hole cut into the bunk floor of the truck. This was the shitting and pissing hole. This was a hole where 4 of the guys who share this truck have been squatting and shitting, so they didn't have to make stops. Oh, God. That cloud of dust that had fallen into his face was shit that had fallen through the hole as the truck was going down the highway, hitting the drive shaft and spraying all over the underside of this truck and the vehicles following it behind it on the highway.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I mean, I have 2 things I want to say about this. The first thing is I've always thought that would be a great idea to have a toilet, car seat / toilet combination, so you never have to stop and go to the bathroom. But it has to be cleaned, clearly. Like you have to regularly.
Well, there's tour buses with bathrooms in them where you can do that.
But I'm saying in a regular passenger commercial vehicle, non-commercial vehicle. You're just sitting in the seat. Your ass is naked in the seat. You're driving and you're shitting at the same time.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it could use the same format as the bus, where it's like you shit into like a bag that you eventually dump. you got to dump the.
I get a colostomy bag. You can take that wherever you go.
There you go. Right, so the truck, there's a little more. The truck was picked up by the DOT, and I don't know the details, but the drivers were charged for something. The tech who worked on the truck had to go take a series of tests to be sure he didn't catch anything after getting a ripe cloud of fecal shit particles in his face, mouth, eyes, and nose.
Very dangerous.
That is scary. That is scary.
That's the coronavirus.
I would quit that job. Well, he could have gotten corona from it.
You can get corona from defecation. I don't know that old shit like that would pass it though. I think it has to be liquefied, active.
We don't know. We don't know.
Well, everything that the doctors have said is that they've never seen corona survive. This strain of corona survive in anything that's not liquid in a liquid state. It can live on metal for a little while longer than normal, except it has to be damp in a damp place.
I heard it could live on frozen things, so it could be on any surface. They were saying
it has to be frozen. You're saying,
or just colder surfaces, and also that it's been airborne. It's still too early. I feel like they don't know exactly. There's no definitive science on it. I feel.
Sorry,
go ahead.
WHO has a whole bunch of things that it can't be transmitted by, so that's what I'm going by.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they're wrong.
Can it live in the moisture that's trapped in between Rob's 3 butt cheeks?
Well, according to the website, yes, because it's moist.
But who's going in there to catch it?
But I want to say though, even in moisture, allegedly, it cannot last that long. It's just that's the delivery vehicle. So in the time it takes for you to sneeze and then get to my nostrils to go inside, it'll live. But if you sneeze on a table or something and it sits there for 15 minutes, it's not going to be transmittable, allegedly. Okay, we don't know everything. That's what I've heard.
But still, if you see a table with booger snots on it, probably just use a different table.
Right. Well, that's disgusting regardless of coronavirus.
Exactly.
There's a lot of things people are learning now that they should have been doing a long fucking time ago. Anyway, but it's a good thing that they're getting there.
Uh-huh.
So he concludes, lastly, and I think I shared this one on a phone call a couple of years ago, but here we go. This one's for Noah specifically. I had an old Asian man come in once upon a time. He was being a genuine pain in the ass to deal with, and the whole time I'm dealing with him, he insisted on cutting his nails over my desk. The underside of these things looked like he had fallen asleep the night before with an itchy asshole. Jesus. I asked him politely if he could stop. He just looked back at me and said, why? Right after he squeezed the nail clippers and his nail shot out and hit me in the face, I said, that's why. He just ignored me and kept clipping. When we were all finished up, he left his clippers just sitting all over my desk. Ugh.
If you're on the audio only podcast right now and not watching the video, which we are streaming, by the way, for our patrons, Noah's face is one of pure disgust.
Looks like she's smelling farts.
Hope you guys enjoy these stories. Oh, sorry, go ahead. No, were you gonna say something?
I was going to say that's gross.
You're right.
Just like anyone cutting their toenails or nails in public or even brushing their hair. I'm so repulsed by it. It's gross.
Well, what if COVID-20 is transmitted by nail
hair
clippings?
cells?
Yeah, hair cells.
It could be.
Epithelial cells.
It's all like dead cells. I don't know. It's gross.
So Josh wraps it up. Hope you guys enjoyed the stories. I love you guys so much and hope you're surviving the pandemic. Thanks, Josh. We are surviving.
I do.
So far, so good.
I feel that the first reaction to that shitting in the box story is like gross, but I feel like they're kind of forced into that. Like I'm sure they make less money if they stop or whatever.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's the sad part. That their work forces them into a situation like that.
The absolute state of this country. But if you do find yourself in that situation, at least maintain the shitter, please.
Well, if I might just interject with my trucking skills.
Sure.
There are regulations now in trucking that prevent truck drivers from driving over a certain amount of hours. So,
but they probably ignore that, right? Like, how do you really enforce that?
You can't, no, because they have automatic logs, Sid.
Yes, Sid, what do you know?
Yeah,
they were dropping automatic logs into that hole in their truck.
More like manual logs, actually. That's a manual transmission right there. Transmitted right into that poor motherfucker's face.
So Josh concludes, I love you guys so much and hope you're surviving the pandemic. I've been listening since the original readings from the Dave Mustaine book. You guys get me through so much, and I don't think I would be alive if it wasn't for looking forward to your episodes each week. Oh, don't say that.
Wow.
That's dramatic.
That's grim.
Come on, Josh.
Let's take next week off and see if he's still around.
Put your money where your mouth is. No.
Let's work on a plateau to get him to try to get to where we're 80% of what you have to live for.
Yeah.
And 20% something else. Not that we don't appreciate it, but we'd like to not be the only thing keeping you alive.
Yeah.
So he concludes, people always say I don't have a sense of humor because I never laugh at their jokes. It's because you guys set the bar too fucking high. If comedy,
it's a big problem, yeah.
That's nice.
If comedy was sex, you guys would be the free Pornhub premium COVID-19 account to how to look at my wife at the end of the day. Josh. Thank you, Josh.
There is a premium version of this Pornhub, just so you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can see our smiling faces as we record every week now.
And we do pee videos.
Oh, did you do one? I didn't check the Patreon.
No, I've got a video of you. I had a hidden cam in your bathroom.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Just let me know next time. I would have. You didn't have to sneak in there. I would have done it. So you must have put that in pre-quarantine.
Yeah.
This must be a while ago.
Oh yeah.
So how much footage do you have on me?
It's a lot. It's a lot. Sometimes you sit when you pee. Sometimes you stand.
That's only when I have to shit, and then there's a P at the end. I don't just sit down to pee. Like that's. I'd rather not sit down to pee. Like, why would I want to do that?
The tape doesn't lie, my friend.
Okay.
And one last email that we have. It is hi Metal Injection Livecast hosts. Edge Lourdes here. It's been a while since I've emailed or participated in any livecast conversations, but over the course of a few weeks, I've been making some parody remixes with GarageBand.
Oh.
I'd love for you to thrash or trash some of my metal parodies. This parody, is a typo negative style parody if they were to sing I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. It doesn't have vocals yet, so the MIDI voice may sound a bit weird, but I'd love to know your thoughts. I'm also working on my first album of Halloween reimaginings, my favorite band, where every song is a different genre. I've got EDM, New Age, meditation, and even classical parodies. Love the livecast.
Halloween.
Skelloween? No, that's not work. Love the livecast. It's one of the few things that help me stay sane in a world of isolation. Well, it makes us feel very good that we are helping you people get through this.
You people.
You livecasters. Here, let's hear a little.
People.
Oh, let's hear. I need a second to cue up the parody.
Okay.
Do you guys have any response to Edge Lourdes?
I just sort of feel it's like our last email says we're keeping him alive. Edge Lourdes just says we're keeping her sane. So it's, I don't know.
Step it up, will you?
Yeah.
Come on. Get a little more desperate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be more dramatic in your emails.
The bar has been set.
Also, it was like a very short hello. There was no like dramatic hi guys. We didn't.
That we could do without.
I say put it in.
That's a drop.
What about the email?
Sorry, I just need one more second.
Alexa, set alarm for 1 second, please.
1.
Okay, here we are. Yeah, we will hopefully be back next week, and I think I finally got the video stuff down. I guess we'll see. Please give us your feedback on how things sound. But for now, here's the.
Tell Rob he did a good job. He needs to feel validated.
Rob,
he feels validated by his work.
This is I Will Survive.
In the style of typo negative, yeah. Okay, I mean, I feel like without the vocals.
Are there going to be vocals?
Sounds more like.
I thought we were going to hear a robot singing it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Can you fast forward a little bit?
Yeah.
I think that was the MIDI voice.
What was that, Darren?
I think that was the MIDI voice already.
Oh,
the
yeah.
vocal
really?
If I was afraid, I was petrified. Rob, do this lyrics as the Peter Steele voice that you do.
Oh, no.
Peter Steele. First I was afraid. I was petrified of Peter Steele. Thinking I can never live without you by my side. All right. That's enough. Well, let us know.
He sang on the school bus every day.
Yeah.
Let us know how that turns out, Edge Lourdes. But I think it's time to read our top livecast fans of the week. And as always, you can be a top livecast fan of the week by hitting up our Patreon and signing up for the top livecast fan of the week. It's $10 a month, so you get all the bonus episodes, all the perks of the $5 a month. situation. I'm going to give you a little shout ski at the end of the show, which is right now. So, Darren, who do we love?
We love Eric Rabaganoush, a.k.a. Justin, El Duderino, Benjamin, Dan R., Cynical Sid's Cynicism, Mindy Mayer's Keepa, Cattle Decaf, Croc Destroyer, Sam I Am I Is, Florida Man, Justin with an E, and Jander. I mispronounced his name last week, by the way, so that's an apology. He already forgave me, so we're all good.
You misgendered him.
Yes.
Well, that's gonna wrap it for us. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you're staying safe out there. We hope you're staying sane out there. Remember to wash your hands. Don't go outside unless you need to get a snack or something. You know, avoid people.
Exercise is good too.
Yeah.
Yes, it's something I really need to
get some fresh air.
Do it safely. Stay away from people. Wear a mask.
And we'll hopefully you'll be hearing from us next Tuesday for another.
But he keeps saying hopefully. What are we gonna do next?
Well,
Tuesday?
we could all die. The economy could crash. There could be looting.
Who knows? Who knows with this world?
I'm honestly less concerned about it's a very serious virus. Don't get me wrong, but I think it will in time. I'm more worried about the effects on the economy and people dying from that.
Yes, agreed. Well, as we worry, we have to say goodbye.
Got to leave, got to say goodbye for now.
Come on, everyone, give a shimmy for our video.
Till I see you guys again.
Noah's shaking the titty.
Cause I know what I'm
Bob's
doing
also
best.
shaking the titty.
And I know what's going on around here.
On our
Cause I know what I'm doing best.
Our episodes.
And I know what's going on.